so many red flags, literal red flags, crimes. Like, I'm just,
that's not even a red flag. That's like passing.
That's a federal offense. Is what that is. Hey guys, welcome back, and if you're new, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Amanda.
And today we're going to be doing part 2 of our rating BookTok books and letting you know if they're worth the hype.
There's some people who say that every single book they read is good. I am starting to realize, though, I do not trust everyone.
There are a lot of hyped books that I don't understand why they're being hyped. I don't know if it's just because that's what's trending. People want to kind of hop on the bandwagon and say like, yeah, it's so good. But don't lie to us, because we've already wasted so much time and money on books that we thought were going to be great and they weren't. I do love BookTok. We get a lot of recommendations from there, especially when we were starting out. We had no idea what to read. It's just, we also need the people telling us what's not worth reading.
Yeah.
We read them, so you don't have to.
First up is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Loved it.
Good.
This was, you know that TikTok where it's like, this is a work of art.
Yeah.
Like, this was literally a work of art. If you don't know what it's about a Hollywood icon named Evelyn Hugo, and we're basically just following her life from the 1950s to now, and we're going through each of her marriages and like everything that came with it. I think the story was just so beautiful. It really did deserve every ounce of hype that it got. I am on a Taylor Jenkins Reid kick right now. I want to grow my whole collection. This was the only book that I read of hers, but now I want all of them. I just completely fell in love with her writing, and I know that her books are super popular. I always hear really good things. This is definitely one that I recommend if you haven't already read it yet.
That's good to know. This was everywhere, and I didn't honestly think it was going to be good, so the fact that you loved it that much. I think this one's also turning into a movie, right?
It's actually a series.
It's a series, my bad. So
yes.
We're gonna have a whole video talking about book 2 screen adaptations, so stay tuned for that. At least the first one is a yes, because we've got some yes, we've got some no's, we have some maybes. We're starting off strong. The next one we're gonna talk about is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. This is one that honestly I've had on my TBR since the beginning of my reading journey. I just recently read it, so all of my feelings are still fresh. Honestly, if you're just asking me the question, is this one worth the hype? No. And let me explain myself though. I know right now at least the TikTok trend around this book is high schoolers like bringing this to class and making their guy friends read it. And I think if that's their target audience, then okay, yes, I understand. However, this is like an adult contemporary romance, so I was very shocked at that because I don't think the writing is necessarily up there. While I was reading it, especially in the beginning, it felt kind of amateur, almost like I was reading a Wattpad, which isn't bad. it's not what I was expecting.
If they want to show their guy friends something, they need to show them like The Deal from Colleen Hoover, because they go in on adult.
I think there were only like 3 scenes in here that I imagine they're showing their friends, but even then I'm like, I mean, I guess, but okay. If you don't know what this is about, it's basically 2 kids when they're younger get paired up as pen pals, Misha and Rin. For the next 7 years, they continue communicating through these letters, and they get to know each other, kind of have these rules set in place. No social media, no pictures, no phone number. So they don't know each other outside of what's in these letters. They don't know what they sound like, look like, etc. Misha is on social media and he comes across this page about a girl named Ren, and everything on her profile kind of fits the girl he's been talking to for the past 7 years, so he immediately knows it's her. She is completely the opposite of who he knows and what he was expecting her to be like. So he kind of has the upper hand when he ends up getting transferred to her school. Ooh. And he knows who she is, he knows what she looks like, and she does not know it's him at all. Yeah.
That sounds good.
It is. The plot is good, and as far as contemporary romances go, I did really like the story. They even had some interesting, not necessarily twists, but like aspects that I wasn't expecting. I enjoyed it for that. Again, the writing just wasn't up there.
Like, what with the writing was wrong?
It's kind of cringy. It sounds like an adult trying to, like what they assume teenagers sound like. The dialogue felt very unnatural, but I mean, if you could get past that, the story is decent. It's just, I don't think it is worth the hype that TikTok has for it.
Next is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is about a guy named Rowan, and he is the director of a Disneyland park, but this one is called Dreamland. And then there's a girl named Zara who has been promoted to be a creator. These are basically basically the people who give him ideas on how to better the park. They end up hating each other. This was actually my first Grumpy Sunshine book, and I absolutely loved it. I think it was worth all the hype. I thought it was so cute. Zara was really sweet and caring and funny, and Roman was just your typical grump. They had such a sweet connection. I loved that this book had a representation of mental health and disabilities and also different ethnicities. I haven't really read many books that kind of show that representation, so I really loved this one for all those reasons, and I think it was definitely worth the hype on BookTok.
I'm gonna have to read it.
It's so cute. I think you would like it.
Okay, good. Like another book to add.
Yeah,
to my
of course.
TBR. The next one we're going to talk about is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. There's 1,000 covers. So this, I wanted to flex my new hardback, but you've probably seen like a variety of different covers if you've seen it on BookTok. Beautiful story. And when I say this is worth the hype, I mean maybe it's even underrated. Like, I want to see it more just because it's so well done. It's a retelling of the Iliad, Patroclus and Achilles. We are in Patroclus's point of view, and we're honestly with them from when they're 6 years old until they are adults. It's such a tragic but beautiful love story. I think if you're going into this thinking it's like more of a mythology based book, you might not like it. It's definitely more of a love story between the two of them, coming of age story as well, just so beautiful. I do think the character development is so well done. The storytelling, just everything about it deserves more. This is one I would love to see a movie.
Yeah, isn't it becoming one?
I think Circe is. This author also has the book Circe, which I still need to read. But this one, I just think, yes, absolutely. If you haven't read it, please read it.
This one was my favorite one from 2021.
There you go. Yes. We need to reread it.
I'll reread.
Me too.
So next is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I have to be honest, I DNF'd this one. I feel so bad because I keep seeing reviews on BookTok and Bookstagram that everyone loves it. I don't understand. How would you love this book? Okay, I love the concepts though. So this is about two people who are sharing a lease for this apartment and they've never seen each other. They share the same bed. He works at nighttime and she works during the day, so they never actually see each other. I love that concept. I think that's so cute. But while I was reading this book, not only was I getting super annoyed because the girl's point of view and the guy's point of view were just written completely different. It was just a mess reading it. I couldn't even understand while I was reading the guy's point of view. I'm like, is he talking to someone? I have no idea. So that was the problem. And then also, I feel like they just kind of got off track from the plot. They started talking about crocheting and selling a sweater, and the guy's brother's in jail, but he didn't do it. I don't care. Show me, how are you guys gonna meet? Maybe I didn't get far enough into it, and it probably ended really good, but I just couldn't get through it because of that.
Just hearing what you have said about it, like, I don't even want to read
sorry,
it.
I literally ruined it for you. But
no, but I'd rather know than have to try to sit down and
then
read
I
it.
tried to listen to the audiobook. Maybe that'll help it a little bit. No, it did not.
No?
No. I don't want to hear about the side characters and the side things that are going on. I want to know y'all.
Yeah. Like, the love story wasn't even the main part of it.
I mean, maybe it wasn't towards the end. I don't know.
Which is crazy because I saw this everywhere on BookTok. I was really wanting to read it.
You should still read it because maybe towards the end it gets really
I don't want to
good.
read it.
I actually read somebody said that the first half no, the second half yes, but I can't.
Wait, but you were already like 100 pages deep, right?
I was like almost hitting 50%.
So if you're not feeling it by then,
yeah,
it's a no.
And that was one of my goals. In our January tag, we talked about some of our reading goals, that I am not going to continue books that I know I did not like.
This is November 9 by Colleen Hoover, okay? And let me start by saying we love Colleen Hoover, okay?
Colleen.
I know there are people who don't love her writing. We are not one of those people. People think she's overhyped. We are not one of those people. So this is a contemporary romance. We follow a girl named Fallon, and she is days away from moving across the country to focus on her acting career. And a few days before she leaves, she meets this man named Ben. They kind of get to talking, getting to know each other. They end up spending the entire day together and realize there might be something there. But since she is about to leave, they've agreed to just not start something now and wait 5 years. So they come up with this agreement to meet the same day every year. Until then, they'll have no contact with each other. It will kind of just be them focusing on their own lives, and then if there is something there, it'll happen later on, right? Okay, great premise. Like,
I love that.
The concept, I love it.
Concept is super, super cute.
Also, I love the writing because we do get both point of views and we don't have to read what goes on in the years that they're apart. The only time we read is when they are meeting together every year. By the end of this book, I just don't understand, okay? I just don't agree with the way that it ended. I do understand the hype because there is a bit of a twist in this book, right? And I think a lot of people weren't expecting it. I wasn't.
I wasn't either.
Right. I recognize that and I appreciate it for what this is. The ending just, I can't. So go ahead and if you haven't read this book and you want to, skip to this timestamp. So if you want to read it and you don't want to know what happens, because we will be saying spoilers, go to this time. Last warning, please skip to this time if you don't want spoilers because we're going to spoil. Ben deserves jail time. Okay, I thought that originally while we were reading it, and I think that to this day, Ben deserves jail time. And I cannot comprehend how Fallon...
It's just sad. Like, this whole time, he's been telling her she's so beautiful, and, like, I don't see those things, your scars and your flaws. Well, of course you're gonna say that, because you're the whole reason why that happens. Like,
exactly. As soon as she found out that he was responsible for the fire, she should have left. She should have sued or just got her shit and left, because exactly what you're saying, everything that's happened up to that point, the compliments, the being nice, is said out of guilt, because he's the reason, like you said, all of this happened in the first place. This fire ruined your entire life. It ruined her career. It ruined her relationship with her father. It ruined her confidence, like everything. He met her under false pretenses, right? We find that out in the end. He knew she was going to be there. They met under false pretenses. He lied about who he is, what he's done. Everything bad that's happened to this girl is his fault. And he has the audacity to write a book about it.
Yeah.
I know you're lying. I know you're lying. Like, I just cannot believe. The twist wasn't my issue. Brilliant twist. I thought, oh, this is perfect. I don't think they should have ended up together at the end. That's what I hate. That's what I disagree with, because, like, she deserves so much better.
You know when she should have known? In that one chapter when they meet again, his brother died and he started dating his girlfriend who had a baby.
I don't even remember.
When I read that, I was like, that's it.
What? Oh my god.
Yes.
I completely
And he started dating this girl, taking care of this baby like it was his.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so once I read that part, I was like, no.
There's so many red flags, literal red flags, arson, like, just crimes. Like, I'm just...
That's not even a red flag. That's like passing.
That's a federal offense. It's what that is. I can't believe she forgave him. I don't care if you fell in love with the person that you thought you knew. He's not that person.
Everything would change after that.
I understand the hype because of the plot twist. I don't understand why people are okay with the ending.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I had to get that out. That was a lot. It's been almost like a year since we read this, but I'm still heated. Is it worth the hype? Maybe. Should you read it?
This one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It is a historical fiction about Addie, who ended up making a deal with a really evil god. He switched her words around, so she lives a life forever, tied down to no one, and that was turned into every single person forgets about her existence the moment she walks away from them until she meets someone who remembers her. I know this book has a lot of controversy. Some people hate it, some people love it. If you can get through the historical fiction part, I think that part was like the slow part, and then once we get back to current time, it's more interesting, and I think the ending was worth all of it. If historical fiction is not your thing, I don't recommend this one.
I won't be reading it. I know it's like super big, but yeah, I've seen people don't like it and I've seen people who loved it. I think it's just because, like you said, like the beginning is very slow.
It is becoming a movie or a TV show, one of them, and I think they'll do a really good job.
I do think I'd watch it. Because I do want to know the story. I want to know what happens, but just the way people talk about the actual writing, I'm like, I don't know if I can read it.
So this one is a maybe.
Yeah.
If you can deal with historical fiction, sure. If not, no.
The last one we're going to be talking about today is The Silent Patient. I know it's just very much talked about to this day, and I don't really know why.
Oh. go.
Okay, psychological thriller, right? And I've talked about it a lot before, but if you don't know, it's about a woman who kills her husband in cold blood. So she's put away at the psychiatric hospital because she refuses to speak to anyone. And the psychologist comes in and he's determined to uncover her motives. So it's kind of just like him trying to figure out what happened and why she isn't speaking to anyone. I do think the story itself is really good. The ending, there's a plot twist. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think a lot of people are expecting it, and I think that's why it's so hyped, maybe. Though, I do think a lot of quotes were really great. It was so slow. Like, the pace just wasn't there. I needed stuff to be happening. I wanted to stay interested. I think this is one I had to keep, like, forcing myself to pick up, but I am glad I read the ending. However, I don't think it needs this hype that it has around it. Like, yes, it's a good book. Solid book, solid story, good ending, but I don't think it's like, oh wow, like mystery thriller of the year or anything. You know what I mean?
I'm just laughing because this is the one I want to read next.
No, it's a good story.
Solid read.
Solid read. For the TikTok hype, no ma'am. Overall, at the end of the day, read whatever you want to read.
Love whatever you want to love. It's all good. Okay, so that is going to be it for today's video. Comment down below and let us know a book that you think has been overhyped on BookTok.
As always, we put out new videos every Wednesday and Friday, so if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye!